Arne Slot press conference, every word on Liverpool 1-1 Sunderland. The Reds had to settle for a point from Wednesday night's Premier League clash at Anfield after falling behind to Kemsdine Talby's deflected strike midway through the second half. Slot's men levelled 9 minutes from the end of the 90 courtesy of a Florian Wirtz shot that went in off Nordi Mukiel, but could not produce a winner. On the importance of Federico Chiesa's goal-saving intervention from Wilson Isidore in stoppage time. Yeah, I think in the final minutes of the game we were close, in my opinion, to making the 2-1 because we had a few set pieces, were constantly around their box. They couldn't actually come out of that situation anymore. But then from one of those set pieces, from the second phase we brought the ball in and their goalkeeper caught the ball. I looked up and I saw a player of theirs completely free at the halfway line. The good thing from Feed was that he could have thought, it's nothing for me to do anymore, I'm so far away from the situation. But he kept sprinting and Alisson Becker, moved him to the outside, and as a result of that Feed could clear the ball off the line, which was I think the minimum we deserved tonight and the minimum his effort deserved as well. I mean with that the draw was the minimum we deserved tonight. On whether he was pleased or frustrated with Liverpool's performance. A bit of both. So, I knew before the game, when you play Sunderland, from the 14 games they have played now they have only conceded 4 times more than 1 goal, and in these 4 games they've only conceded 2. So, it's a hard team to score against, it's a hard team to create your chances against, because they either go really aggressive in a high press or they have 11 players, 10 outfield players and a goalkeeper, who defend their box with their lives. That's why it's so difficult to create. So, in that aspect, I was hoping for more, although I knew how difficult it is to create against them. Again, we've hardly conceded. The first big chance of them, I don't count the shot that hit the bar because that was not a chance, but the first serious chance was from a set piece, and a header that hit the post. And then their goal is, in my opinion, not even a chance. If that is a chance, we've probably had 20 chances tonight. But, unfortunately, a deflection led to going 1-0 down. Then, recently in our games we've found it really hard to get the equalizer, although we had our chances every time. Today, we had a little bit of luck with scoring the 1-1 because that was also a deflection. For me, different, because that's a shot from 8, 9, 10 yards, so that's at least a serious chance. Where a shot from 20 yards isn't a serious chance, an opportunity but not a serious chance. So, a bit of both. On Sunderland growing in confidence as the second half went on and if Anfield is losing any of its fear factor. No, not Anfield. For sure. But it's clear that teams that play us now think they can get a result. Not only think, because that has been shown this season. And even in the games we've won, they also fueled the confidence for other teams like, something is possible because the wins we had at the beginning of the season weren't easy ones as well. I don't completely agree with you that they grew into the game because I think throughout the whole second half there was only one team that had the ball and only one team that was playing on one half. But yeah, if they got a free kick off the referee or they had a goal kick, they could bring it to our half with a long ball. And we had to defend 3 or 4 times a set piece and a throw-in and a corner kick. And of course, that is a danger with them because they have shown this season that they are a threat in set pieces. The good thing for us is we didn't concede from a set piece. Maybe as a result, we got at least a point. On whether Sunderland did anything that surprised him. No, they didn't do anything that surprised me, no. Like I said, we know they can press really high and defend with 11 players around their box, that is what many teams do in the Premier League. That's the minimum you need to do, defend with 11 players, because this league has become so strong that it's very hard not to defend with 11 players. On whether he wants players to close down opponents when they're shooting from distance or drop off. I think in the first instance when they have the ball free 30, 35 yards away from goal, it is smarter to take away the space because if you step out as a center back or a different position, the other team tries to exploit that space. So, first take away the space, but at a certain moment you move forward to the ball, which I think is what Virgil van Dijk tried and unlucky enough, it went in, off a deflection. I've seen so many deflected shots on the other end, or one of them led to a goal as well. We were again unlucky that from the few chances we've conceded, again we've conceded a goal. On the decision to replace Cody Gakpo with Mohamed Salah at halftime. In my opinion, Cody struggled to dominate the 1v1s. If you want to have any chance against, like I said, they were pressing high but also in multiple situations they were in a low block, so the way to score is quite simple. You need a moment of magic from a player or you need a set piece to score. I felt in the first half Cody struggled to find that moment because it was hard for him to dominate the 1v1 or get crosses in. In the first half we played with Dominik Szoboszlai off the right to be defensively strong enough not to concede enough as we did in the last few weeks. I changed it to Mo on the right side and then played with Florian Wirtz off the left. Like I said, we hardly conceded, but it was throughout the whole game difficult to create that moment of magic. From the set pieces we had, we were once close. I think it was Alexis Mac Allister, in the first half who hit the post from a set piece, but we had enough, especially in the end of the second half, but didn't score. Liverpool held by Sunderland in Anfield draw. After both teams had struck the woodwork, the visitors doing so on 2 occasions, it was the away side who opened the scoring on 67 minutes when Kemsdijn Talbij's shot from distance took a deflection off Virgil van Dijk. However, Florian Wirtz's deflected effort leveled late on when he created space inside the area and struck left-footed against Nordi Newcastle. Arne Slot elected to make just one change to the starting lineup from the weekend victory at West Ham United, with Andy Robertson coming in for Milos Kerkez. First half. On a cold night at Anfield, a Dominik Szoboszlai drive from distance early on warmed the palms of Robin Roos, but Sunderland had started brightly at Anfield. Nevertheless, Alisson Becker remained largely untroubled in the early exchanges, and on 23 minutes, Liverpool went agonizingly close to breaking the deadlock. Wirtz got the bounce of the ball on the edge of the box, allowing him to bound his way into a one-on-one with Roos. The number 7 nudged the ball towards goal, but the visiting keeper got a boot to it to deflect it against the attacker and into the side netting. By this point, the Reds' threat was growing, though Omar Alderete did force Alisson into 2 routine saves. Then Sunderland went even closer with 32 minutes elapsed when Trey Hume's well-struck effort from 20 yards was required to be touched onto the crossbar by the hosts' number 1. At the other end, as halftime loomed, Szoboszlai's shift-and strike from the left needed to be punched over the bar by Roos. The subsequent corner saw Sunderland half-clear the ball, but Liverpool recycled it back into the box via Joe Gomez, and a downward header towards the bottom corner by Alexis Mac Allister struck the outside of the post. Second half. Mohamed Salah was introduced into the action during the break, replacing Cody Gakpo, and Liverpool started with intent. Salah and Wirtz both had attempts into crowded boxes blocked by blue shirts, with Roos not truly tested in the early exchanges. Then, just after the hour, a near-post header from Alderete crashed against the outside of the post and behind as Sunderland demonstrated their threat once more. And, with 67 minutes on the clock, it was the Black Cats who opened the scoring. Talbij collected possession around 20 yards out and took aim, with the effort beating Alisson via the aid of a deflection off Van Dijk. However, Liverpool levelled with 9 minutes of normal time remaining. It was a goal that owed much to the tenacity of Curtis Jones, an earlier substitute for Gomez, who stepped up to win possession and find Wirtz inside the box. The number 7 then created space by shifting the ball onto his left foot before lifting a finish into the top corner via a deflection off Newcastle 15 yards out. The home team piled on the pressure in search of a decider, winning a series of corners, but in a dramatic finale, Wilson Isidore rounded Alisson only to have his strike towards the empty net blocked on the line by Federico Chiesa.